He's gone, guys. It's my show now. Welcome to Coburg Up Late.
You're an O'Connor Up Late with Andy McMillan.
Finally.
It's Coburg Up Late.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us tonight is our first ever interstate guest. Celebrated on dusty dance floors for his lush soundscapes and mind-boggling production, he's been featured on worldwide leading label Ein Musica and attracted support from hugely influential DJs Sasha and Sebastian Leger, to name a few. He's just released his debut album Eucalyptograph to universal acclaim, and he's one of my personal favourite artists in the world too. Please welcome all the way from the nation's capital, Doppel.
Doof, doof, doof in the air tonight. House music from home never felt so right. Now your neighbors awake in the 3058. It's Coburg Up Late.
Excuse me.
I've just sprayed you a little bit. Do I pass?
Yeah, you passed the test. That's great. What you drinking, Andy?
I'm drinking a Ben Spoke all the way from Canberra.
Which is what you are. Thank you for being our first.
I am Canberra. I am in fact Canberra.
Yeah, you are Canberra. Firstly, congratulations on your debut Eucalyptograph, the 11-track stunner on Open Records, already heralded as a modern classic of electronic music.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I'm glad. Honestly, the support is it means a lot. Like, you've been extremely vocal in your support, and it's always a buzz. Like, every message I receive from you is super lovely. Like, it's incredible.
I actually fanboy the shit out of Andy. Do you remember the time when I sent you a message in the middle of Melbourne's Stage 4 lockdown to ask you what the track ID was in your 333 mix?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, that was a pretty big day for me. I was somehow friends with Andy on Facebook, and I don't know why. We can go into that later.
Facebook friends for 9 years.
Yeah. But on our C friendship, there's literally no interactions for the entire time.
Good.
So I messaged Andy. I'm like, hey, good.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
sorry.
Disregarding this one special hour, you can speak to my management, mate.
I'm putting the headphones on now.
Yeah. That's it. It turns out that the track that I Shazammed was your own track, Profane, a fantastic tune. And I was on acid at the time. And it was just a really boring time to be in Melbourne. And
what a way to kill time.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And we're listening to your mix, and I found that out from you, and I was like, oh, wow, he wrote back. What a lovely man. And I put my phone in the middle of the table, and I lay back on the couch and just started really fucking blissing out. And then after about 5 minutes of thinking, wow, I'm in heaven right now. No one could possibly touch me. I just hear this, hey man, did you mean to call me? And I looked over and I'd somehow video called via Facebook my musical hero. So sorry about that.
Live on video.
You might remember just seeing my finger just creep over, because I was too scared to talk to him, so my finger just creeped over, and I'm just pretty sure I hung up on you.
Well, and I'm not sure if I realised your situation at the time, but I remember this happening, and I remember thinking, because we'd been communicating a bit, and it'd been super lovely, and I thought you were just giving me a ring to have a chat, and it was the evening sometime. I think I was having some birthday drinks or something like that.
And it was your birthday, and you still answered, which is a testament.
And I thought nothing of it. I was like, oh, Cal's calling me. I'll pick up and say hi. And little did I know, on the other end of the line, you were upside down.
Hey, what happened 9 years ago, and why are we Facebook friends?
Okay.
Because I dead said I don't know, and I just thought it'd be better to save it until the cameras are rolling for whatever incriminating or boring actually occurred.
It is incriminating.
Oh shit!
It's definitely incriminating. Fortunately, in a very wholesome way.
Oh, nice. Wholesomely incriminating.
Wholesomely
That's
incriminating.
Coburg Up Late to a T.
There you go. There's one for the parents. Let's reel it back in. So we I think, I'm not sure if we even met. As is the tradition with Facebook friends.
With Facebook friends, that's right. Friend of a friend once thought about.
Exactly, yeah. And but I've thought about this moment many times.
Wow.
Yeah, a few times.
I hope you're not offended that this. I don't know this
moment.
moment.
No. Like this. So this was definitely a moment that I was observing and you were in.
Oh shit.
because we had collectively, or actually separately, like completely independently of one another, had jumped the fence into the Canberra Folk Festival. And I think we were probably 18 at the time or something like that.
no.
You know, scamps, delinquents.
There's not much else to do in Canberra. It's kind of like stage 4 lockdown in Melbourne.
And look, this isn't a particular heinous crime. Tickets to the Canberra Folk Festival, which is a beautiful event, are about $1,000, which is a little...
Which is a heinous crime in itself. Thank you so much, Dad, for buying me a ticket pretty much every year of my life. I probably had a fucking ticket that year.
You probably did. Yeah. So like, and I don't remember the exact circumstances surrounding when this happened, but a group of us, there were maybe like 20 of us, were hanging around on the Oval in the Canberra Folk Festival, and a security guard came up to us and basically kicked us out in a very friendly fashion. He was like, guys, you have to go. You're not supposed to be here. And I have this memory imprinted in my mind of you just basically having a yarn with the security guard. I think you asked him what his favorite Pokemon was. And I don't remember the answer. And that's the worst part of the story.
If you're out there, if you can just message in on the show, that'd be great.
Yeah, call us. Then we were out, and that's it. That's basically that's the story. I just remember us walking across a dark oval. It was kind of foggy, and
It's
at the
so
Canberra Folk
18. It
Festival.
is just so 18-year-old to like break into a festival to go and sit on a dark oval.
Yeah, it's very 18-year-old in Canberra as well. Like, that is quintessentially Canberran, is sitting on an oval in the dark.
What will you be playing for us today?
So I was sort of umming and ahhing about this, and I thought I might just play some of my tunes, bunch of tunes from the album. Like,
Amazing.
I was going to play some tunes that I've been listening to at the moment, but I felt like,
But any DJ can do that.
well, I mean, you know, not any DJ can do that well. You know, that's that's not true. Any DJ can do that well. No, like I normally, I've actually been saying this, I relish the opportunity to DJ, like I really do, because often I get booked to play my own tunes, which is amazing. It's really lovely.
That's another question. I kind of want to save it for later, because Doppel Live, you're on posters as Doppel Live, not just as Doppel DJ set.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
It's a good question, Cal. No, so I suppose in it is, so when I'm booked to play live, I've got all my tunes broken down into stems. I got a few sort of synth channels and percussive.
Oh, you're doing it
loops
through
and-
Ableton?
Through Ableton with a couple of MIDI controllers and that sort of stuff.
What kind of freedom are you allowed with that as opposed to a DJ set?
So it's essentially a glorified DJ set with some.
Let's not ruin the smoke and mirrors.
Well, with room for improvisation, but I suppose when I was first approaching it, I did build a live set that was a bit more loopy and boring, and like it was a bit like it's very hard with only two hands to make something like that. There are some people who do that amazingly well, like you know, they're just, and they've got hardware and all that sort of stuff. But I suppose I spend so long crafting a tune in the studio, I don't really want to bust that up too much. I want to present that the way that it was written, I suppose.
Absolutely. It's like, it's amazing that we have so many like filters and effects on these things, but it's like, don't you guys fucking realize how many hours have been sweated into making this sound just a certain way?
Yeah, just for you to like...
Which I will almost definitely do unashamedly at least
let's
twice
do it.
during this episode.
Me too, let's go. Let's get, as long as the elbows go up.
Mate, that's what a DJ set's all about. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're just
I mean-
literally glorified pressing play.
Yeah, but you know, well, we don't need to go into the art of DJing. I have the utmost respect for, you know, filling a room with the right tune at the right time. I think there is an art to that, but there is also an art to making sure that your elbow gets right up there.
Doppel will be swinging his elbow right up there for us right now. Thank you so much for filling the room with the right song at the right time. Take it away.
All right. I guess I'll just start with this. Track one. Predictable.
You've always been predictable, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
So this is track one on the
trick pony,
album.
one hit wonder.
Track one on the album. Was this always going to be the first track?
I think so. This track came together really quickly. It's pretty raw and just like simple, and that's exactly how I wanted it to be. And sort of just wrote it and then left it. And I think this was definitely a process of sort of letting go of pieces, you know, like writing writing something and then not messing with it too much, just being like, that's done, it's good, let it go.
That sounds like quite like a massive like personal lesson. Is like learning how to let go.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, the album was definitely a cathartic experience. A lot of, especially during COVID and everything, a lot of personal lessons involved in the creative process, I suppose.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, the record itself was born from COVID as well, wasn't it? You essentially made it during, like, from beginning to end during the entire pandemic?
Yeah, pretty much. A bit of it started when Canberra was, like, surrounded by bushfires. You could pretty much see the fires
Fuck, remember when all we had to worry about was bushfires?
Oh, I know.
The glory days.
Honestly, life was so simple back then. Yeah, it sort of started then and then wrapped up around the end of last year. So it was that was really this very self-contained process in that year.
Yeah.
And it was a really amazing thing for me to have that to sort of as like an anchor, you know, as like an outlet and as like a, you know,
pretty vital.
A constant, I suppose. And I'm so lucky to have had the opportunity to do that.
Wow.
You know, like, wouldn't have been able to do it if I wasn't in Canberra, I'm sure. Like, you know, just being, but
I mean, I feel like we were lucky in Melbourne, but you guys really, really got it lucky, hey?
am I playing 2, by the way?
Absolutely, 2 for 1. We got Doppel on Coburg Up Late. It is an absolute honour to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You'll never know what I just said.
You just told me
I
that...
just said I haven't really mixed the album much, you know? Like, it's sort of, you know, maybe we're not gonna just sit here and play the album from start to finish.
Especially because if you mix it, it's actually not how it's designed to be heard.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm at your mercy, mate. It's amazing how something as simple as that little hat, or perhaps it's a shaker, can really elevate the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose this was an exercise in restraint as well. I have a tendency to pile more on, but
Sorry, go on.
But I guess I wanted to, yeah, like, you know, and everyone, it's just a tale as old as time. People just want to put more on.
Yeah.
But there is an art in doing less with more. More with less. Sorry, more with less.
I think that's what I love most about this kind of music is the restraint, you know? To sound like a wanker, it's what happens between the sounds, yeah?
Tripping on myself.
That's good, we're just trying to get you comfortable, mate. So it turns out you can swing an elbow, mate. Pretty impressive. Professional elbow swinger. Hey, Andy, it seems like you're in the middle of like a major level up right now, career-wise. I'd love to ask you about what that's like internally, because externally, yeah, patch it away. Would you mind? I've got a little bit on my nose, just down there as well, mate, and just on the other side as well. I was about to say,
sharing.
I was about to say I'll never wash my face again, but let's be honest, I never washed my face to begin with. Hey,
I can confirm. Sorry, sorry. What was the question?
no, the question is like right now, like right at this very point in time, I genuinely believe this, and I hope you don't think this is blowing steam up your ass, but I believe you're one of, if not the most exciting artist in Australia right now. Like it really seems like everything Doppel is happening for you. What does that feel like now for you?
Well, I don't know. Oh, I like my initial inclination is just to be like, you're talking out of your ass, but
Which
like,
I am known to do.
well, that is a proven fact. But I mean, but it's I don't know. Everything like has been happening very serendipitously, and I'm really happy. Like, there's a lot of really awesome stuff happening right now, which I'm like obviously super stoked about. But I suppose. This is a new one. It's coming out soon on my mate Moses' label, Resueno.
Awesome.
It's just a remix. Anyway.
Wow. Exclusive.
Exclusive, actually. Yeah,
Thank you so
I've
much.
never played this before.
Wow.
So there you go.
I couldn't promise I wasn't going to fanboy, mate. That's amazing.
Oh, so is that why you just asked the question that you just asked as well? No, but genuinely, it's hard to see that kind of thing from the inside looking out. Obviously, I'm really stoked with the reception to the album, all the tunes and stuff, but it has
You must have so many people every single fucking day saying, "Hey mate, love the record."
Well, that's definitely been kind of a new, like, people definitely tell me they enjoy the tunes, but
Your piano work, dude. Are you actually playing that?
well, I did play the chords and that's just loops. So,
Fantastic.
but yeah, like with the album, it's definitely a new one where a lot of people are coming up and they sort of tell me that they enjoy the album and stuff. It's really like actually really amazing to hear. Like it's so lovely. Like
Wow.
But I don't know. I guess it's been like a long process, and I put a lot of work into everything. But
Yeah. You can hear it in every single facet of the production. You can hear hours and you can hear love. I think for me, I think the beauty in this album is the transparency of the artist. I think your voice shines through in what is an instrumental record. I hear your voice in it.
No, I mean that's awesome to hear that that's what comes across, because I suppose it is kind of just my brain down on paper, like in a lot of ways. But
I'm actually curious about that, dude, because you've said before you've got some really like quite complex themes on this record. How do you explore such complex? Well, firstly, what are those themes? Secondly, how do you explore such complex themes without lyrics? This song's an exception because it's not on the record.
This doesn't, and it's got lyrics.
Yeah.
But
You talk while I'm going to
vocal.
load up a tune if you want to.
yeah, do you think? Well,
I'm just going to swing an elbow.
I'll get to that question in a minute. I'm just going to let this play for a minute.
I'll close my eyes and
You were given this stem.
Yeah, it's a remix of Jai Kuzco and Schmerz. What do we got? Oh, Kiosk. Love it.
I thought you might.
find my way.
I know you don't like to talk about production too much because you've said it alienates your audience, but like it's so clear that your production is so different to so many people's.
Let's make him uncomfortable, you know. The next 40 minutes is Ableton tips and tricks. Sucked in. Come this far. We'll just go back to the last question. Can't remember what the question was now. It had something to do with
You're skyrocketing right now. What does that feel like?
No, I think you're talking about putting myself.
Oh, yeah,
into
yeah.
the tracks or
We've
something.
asked a few questions but we get excited and then we move on too quickly.
Yeah, we've got
what
some
are the themes of the record? And then how are you conveying them without using any vocals?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. I definitely would like to work with more vocals. I think that like the human voice is, the most amazing instrument. But I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to. Like it really is kind of storytelling. Like you can. I think you have to sort of try harder to evoke an emotion or tell a story without words. But also it can be so much more open to interpretation. And obviously vocals, like a poem or a song or whatever,
Right.
with vocals can be interpreted in any way. I love this man. So good.
How fucking good is he?
So good.
Little Italian stallion.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, but then I suppose just similarly like with a vocal, like, a melody or an instrument or a sound, like it can evoke any number. Like it does. It's the same. It's like a word. It evokes something.
It's almost. Were you feeling the way you were feeling when you were producing, and then you set your intention into the music, and then it's up to the interpretation to feel that?
Well, I definitely think that is that's a big thing. Is that whatever comes out of when you're writing a tune, whatever comes out of you, whatever you're thinking at that time or feeling at that time, whenever you start putting it down on paper, it's going to come through, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
you can't escape that, I think. Like, but I mean.
You're up, bad boy.
Unreal. All right.
I wish this could go all day.
We can look. There's no one else here. It's just us. There's no clock.
Andy had a massive gig yesterday, and then that was already a big thing to do before coming and having to talk to the Energizer Bunny for an hour. But you also had a back-to-back with Tom Evans from The Journey right afterwards.
Yeah.
161 nightclub. How was
Which
that?
was amazing. Had an amazing time. Is this on? Are we working? Yeah, we're good. Is this thing on? No, it was incredible. But like, I was very conscious of the fact that I was coming here afterwards, so
Yes.
I tried to keep a lid on it. But
Yes. Well,
honestly,
the plan was to keep a lid on it,
the
wasn't
plan
it?
was to keep it. It failed miserably because
Yeah,
like,
it's the lid. Where's the fucking lid?
yeah, no, there was never a lid. But that's actually the really amazing thing about being back in Melbourne at the moment is like, things are back open. Like, there's so much energy out, life on the streets. Like, it's so amazing, and it would feel like a shame to come here and not
Waste that. Yeah, yeah.
dive in head first. And
If you didn't come in with like bleary eyes, I'd be disappointed, mate.
well, it's a good thing this camera is going to pick up everything. All the sweat coming out of my pores.
As I said, mate, we'll fix it in post.
All right. I'm going to put the headphones on. I really like this. It's kind of my style of mixing where you kind of just go like, just throw it in.
Let the song speak for itself. I was thinking about
do it
that.
that way.
Dude, I'm glad you said that. You and I love the same music. We've discussed this before. But the music that you and I love often lends itself to very long mixes,
Totally, yeah.
such as the nature of progressive music. However, hang on, let's just give this a sec.
He's gone, guys. It's my show now. Welcome to Coburg Up Late.
You're an O'Connor Up Late with Andy McMillan.
Finally.
Fuck.
This feels good. Are you okay? Did you
Yeah,
hurt yourself?
look, I hurt my thumb. Sunshine did that when she came in last season. She fell on the exact same light, but on the other side and fucked her thumb up. Now I know what it feels. I'm so sorry to put you through this, Sonny. Where were we? Long mixes versus short mixes. The genre lends itself to long mixes, right? But I prefer the shorter mixes on this style of music as well. What do you think? What is it about shorter mixes for you?
Well, I like all mixes, but like I don't know, like I love mashing tunes up. I love playing them over top of each other. I love experimenting with mixes, but I also think like it's like.
Dude, you have to mix. You have to
People get
mix.
too sort of caught up in like. People get too caught up in the actual. Obviously, there's a lot to be said about the technical aspects of mixing,
Yeah.
but not a lot said about like
The
if you're
production.
playing the right tunes and stuff.
Yeah,
Then it
yeah.
doesn't really matter. Like
Yeah.
I've seen like hey, let me just mix this.
Yeah, yeah.
Go back to I've got a good story about that.
Great. You're speaking like a real producer now. Let the song breathe, man.
Especially for something like this, you know, we're doing quick mixes.
This is the first track you released as a teaser for the album. Was it a single or was it more just you wanted to show what you'd been up to? What was the motivation for releasing Painted first?
I think we kind of wanted to put out, like we being me and Jesse from Open Records.
Yeah, who's got a lot of time for you?
Yeah, and it couldn't literally just, it all like couldn't happen without him, like from start to finish really. Like
Shout out to you,
shout out
Jesse.
Jesse.
Thank you so much.
Like, you know, Open Records was like, just to quickly touch on that, really
Yep.
was like some of the first tunes that I bought off Beatport and started listening to electronic music. That was it, you know.
Are you kidding?
And so now,
And then they hovered over you and selected you.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
and it
wow.
all, yeah, then like, so to be doing the album with them is amazing.
Oh,
But
how did that feel? Did they come to you to make the record? What happened?
so I've been working with Jesse for a bit now.
Yep.
And like, I don't know, like, I think we just sort of, we wanted to put out a free tune basically. Well, at least I wanted to put out a free tune to just sort of, because I've been selling, especially over the last half of last year. I've been doing a lot of releases, which was awesome.
Dude,
and,
it's
like,
wild how much you've been putting out in the last year. It seems like when it rained, it poured.
Totally, and it was definitely because I've been writing a lot of music but only playing it live and never really like putting too much time into actually releasing it.
Yeah.
So my goal for last year was release more music.
Wow. Yeah. Tick.
Tick, yeah, but then, you know, it sort of felt, you know, we're putting out heaps of music and then being like, go buy it on Beatport or whatever, and it's like, that's awesome, but I kind of like, I would probably prefer to just put it all out for free.
Your heart is so big. It's so amazing. It's like, I just couldn't see as an artist why I should make any money off my blood, sweat, and tears. You're fucking amazing.
It does, and it totally makes sense to be able to be like,
Excuse me. Spoke over a good bit. You idiot.
shut up. Just press play and get out.
Excuse me, I'm trying to listen to your expression here. Shut up.
Stop expressing yourself. I'm trying to listen to your expression.
Sorry, I interrupted. Where were we?
You did. That's fine. I'm happy to just let it play. I, as much as anyone, appreciate being supported. So I just had to express myself.
Dude, that's like me listening to you with my girlfriend in the room. She's like, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I wouldn't mind. Okay, is that a synth? What's that?
No, it's a sample. Yeah, I use a lot of samples because,
Are you pitch bending those samples to make them fit in the track?
yeah, I often pitch bend and sort of break them up a bit, add edges. Like, I just love using samples because you can get textures that you can't otherwise, you know? Like, I find I get a bit bored of synthy sounds.
Yeah.
Then, like here, for example, this part of the track is very synthy, but
But I believe it's synthy because you're creating contrast with the part to come.
exactly.
Which
yeah.
is, we were talking about the word restraint earlier. I think what I love about this moment, which I'm going to unceremoniously ruin for everybody, is it's incredibly restrained.
I love this little drop.
It's a work of art, Andy. You should be so proud of this.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I can't remember what we were talking about, but
Me neither. I'm just having fun with
cares?
you. Yeah, who cares? We've got Doppel on Coburg up late, playing some of his incredible productions. The guy's an absolute talent. And I'm creaming me little jeans, having him in the garage. I'll tell you bloody what, Andy.
shouldn't have picked the mic up again. I've got to mix in a minute. But
That's cool.
what? Who cares?
Do you know what this part's got me thinking about? Something I love about your productions is there is an unrelenting dedication to the dance floor. And you can hear it. It's your high-end percussion really pushes the whole track along. Like, that is a man that's been to a couple of fucking music festivals, eh?
Well, that's actually one of the interesting things about the album was it did sort of like, it was in this really weird kind of introverted COVID headspace.
Yeah, well.
And then...
But there's moments like this of such pure, like, outward expression.
Totally.
You know?
It was. And then... I'm just going to ram
Dude,
this
you're
one
great. You're literally, like, mixing and chatting and I'm distracting you.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I'm just going to ram this one in.
Ram it in, baby.
Hold on, I can't multitask.
Yeah,
I'm a boy.
Do your thing. It's amazing that those bass tones seem to sync up so well. Have you done that? You haven't done that mix before.
No, never. No, I haven't.
Are you as satisfied as I am with how that sounded?
Yeah, look, let's see. We can fix it in post. No, like, that seemed to work okay, considering I was just like, all right, let's put that one in now. Go. I'm definitely representing my mixing skills well.
Promoters, this is what you're booking.
Yes. That's it. Get in.
That's the most exciting act in Australia right there.
Just ram it in. Just ram it in.
Just ram it in, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about restraint.
He'll rock up real sweaty and talk over the tunes and not really mix them.
And he's got to have a night out with Tom Evans from the Journey Fair, he was supposed to drop you off today and then just sent me a picture message saying, sorry, I'm still a few hours from
Chuck
dropping
him under the bus.
Yeah, still a few hours from dropping off Andrew, then showed me a breathalyzer 0.03. Tom, it's 2:00 in the afternoon.
Shout out, Tom. Love you.
I love you so much, Tom. You're an incredibly talented man, and I owe you a lot, mate. Thank you.
Where were we? There was something that I
Coburg.
wanted to touch on that you just spoke about. Yeah, while Cal's doing that, I'll stand back here and just mull over it.
It's a great idea, mate.
So we were talking about Oh yes. So the album was.
This is your talk show now, remember?
I'm gonna pace back here and just talk to myself.
His modus operandi is wait till the host injures themselves, take the microphone, then don't say anything. I like your style, Macmillan.
I'm gonna stare at the ground and be really thoughtful.
This is your introverted moments with sprinkled with your extroverted expression.
So the album was in this really introverted, like weird COVID headspace. It was very dark, and maybe one day I will release an album that comes from that headspace, or music that does come from that headspace, because I guess a lot of it is sort of more melancholy, or it's more introverted, all that sort of stuff. But it really, I was sort of in this. It was the process of writing the album was very up and down, especially due to COVID. You know, it came in waves, but then the prospect, and I've always loved, like one of my biggest inspirations has been writing tunes for a dance floor to feed off that response and everything.
Was that pretty early on in your experience with dance floors? You're like, I want to be creating this?
Absolutely, yeah. And it felt really a bit unnatural writing something outside of that. But then basically towards the end of last year, I had the prospect of playing at Elements Festival and a couple of other gigs.
Yes, which looked amazing.
And it completely changed my perspective on the album, and like.
But you'd already created the album by that point.
Pretty much, but like there were a bunch of tunes that I was just finishing off that I sort of like.
Did you re-dancify them?
Exactly.
Oh my God!
Literally.
Thank you,
Thanks, Elements. Shout out Elements. No,
that's
literally.
Amazing.
And
that's what I love about it, amongst other things. But I love how dancey it is, dude.
It completely transformed it, because I was like, and I felt like I was sort of like elevated by that, excited by that, like. And that felt so much more natural. I had all this energy and like.
LFO?
The Whizzy bit.
Say the fizzy bit. This is why I didn't want to talk about production with you, because I just thought it'd bore people. Because also my terminology is really off. Like I would say, like, oh, the gas. What? Like, how are you doing this?
Yeah. So I love hearing people talk, especially like hearing music producers or DJs sit down to talk about production, because that is exactly the terminology that is used. Like musical theory in electronic music production involves whizzy bits and fizzy bits, and like that swooshy bit and like. That bit that goes like, like.
Once again, promoters, this is what you're booking. Master of the fizzy bit and the wishy bit.
Come inside the mind of the whizzy bit.
Do you know actually what? Okay, so this is an interesting topic. Is I never used to understand wine lingo. People say things like air of pungent washed peach, and I'm like, mate, there's no peach in there, right? But as soon as I heard. As soon as I started thinking about the way that I personally describe dance music, I'm speaking about a lot of elements that aren't actually there. And really, it just comes down to how we personally interpret the art form, right?
Totally, yeah.
So therefore, your wishy bit.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, when you're using sounds that aren't traditional and all that sort of stuff, you kind of have to invent vernacular.
I mean, prior to you creating that sound, it didn't exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to Two Sweaty Men in a Shed.
That was the working title for Coburg Upload. I just couldn't afford enough neon signage for it.
You can rearrange that.
My old CDJs, you probably can't do what you think you can do on them.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. This is what you're booking, promoters.
You'd be a fan of Sam Shure.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Wizard.
Yeah, like, is this like...
Still Vod talent.
Yeah, the remix he just did for Tim Engelhardt is one of my favorite tunes at the moment.
Another incredible organic producer.
Yeah.
Although he gets quite synthy as well, Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy, who?
I speak as if I know him personally. I do not. I do respect you though, Timmy.
Timmy.
Organic itself as a genre has kind of seems to have really like found prevalence lately as well. How do you feel about the term organica and how it intersects with something like progressive house or melodic techno? And are genres even fucking important?
Well, I like my sort of knee-jerk reaction to that is, I was talking to someone about this the other day, is that it is like, new genres are all, it's so convoluted now, you know, it's all blown out, but I think just with the sheer amount of music that is currently constantly being released, I think it's just inevitable that we kind of have to be more detailed about the way we describe stuff.
True. So it's like for our own
Like-
cataloging purposes.
Yeah, just for cataloging. I mean, obviously, the flip side of that is that you just don't have to categorize it at all, obviously. Like,
Sure.
you can just not do that.
Sure.
But, you know, if you're DJing, you kind of want to be able to, like, identify stuff. So, I don't know. And
Perhaps it's just nice to give a name for something that you like as well.
Totally, exactly,
You know,
yeah.
maybe you don't identify as a greater dance music fan. Maybe you do just like organic house, you know?
totally. And to be able to, it makes it easier to find more stuff that's similar to the stuff that you like.
Yeah.
All that. Which,
Yeah.
again, might be limiting, but I think it's helpful in a way.
Yeah.
I tend to steer clear of those kinds of like I'm not particularly elitist when it comes to those things, like debates about, you know, Beatport adding 5 new genres,
Yeah,
or
right. You steer clear of them.
vinyl versus CDJs versus, like, you know, playing on two sticks together, like
Just doesn't matter.
like, I mean, coming from a punter, I don't care. I really don't. Like, I do care in a way. Like, obviously, there's a lot to be said about specific things about specific mediums or specific genres or whatever, but generally speaking, if it's good music, if the people are dancing, whatever, you know.
Words of wisdom from Andy McMillan, aka Doppel. The it artist right now. I'm sure he won't like to hear it, but
The It. Woo. It artist.
I think that organic, I think this organic sound is the future of dance music. And the only reason I think that is because when you look retrospectively at dance music, we come from an inherently synthy and robotic background, right? But more and more we're hearing elements of nature or reality in our synthetic production. Like, where do you think that dance music's going, and what role do you think your style has in that? Don't rush. The future of dance.
Well, that's the answer to your question.
That's the name of Doppel's second album.
So, I mean, I suppose the worlds of like live and electronic music are so sort of intertwined and interlinked these days. Like, it's kind of impossible to escape from that. I mean, a lot of like live music is run through computers anyway. I think that there is kind of like a necessary meeting of. All right, I'm just gonna ram this one in and get rid of it. I'm trying to multitask here. It's not
You're
working.
doing a great job. Oh, this track's beautiful, man.
Like, I think, I guess my whole thing is about contrast and sort of those dualities, like organic and technical and like light and dark and all that sort of stuff. I think that like
Dynamic.
you kind of necessarily have to have those like pushing, pulling, interplaying sort of like opposites. And like I especially love that one with like, especially, you know, and this is a tale as old as time, introducing human and organic elements into electronic music, like
Daft Punk.
yeah, totally, yeah. And but I think that
Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace. Like thank you, I guess. They're not dead, but. This is a bit faster than it was written, but you know, it works.
There's that aggressive shaker again.
It's all about the shakers.
Oh, dude, I'm 100% about the shaker.
about the shakers.
Anyone that says it's about the kick drum is grossly misinformed.
Yeah, and I think I have, I've made that mistake in the past where all my tracks have kick drums in them, but I think going forward, you've convinced me to remove the kick drum. But it is an unfortunate sort of like effect of, or like thing in dance music that a lot of the times, as long as there's a kick drum, no one cares what else is going on.
Yeah. A lot of producers get complacent, I think, with it. I think that you can find a great sample pack and put a compressor on it, and then suddenly somebody's a producer. And whilst I think that is valid, I think that does create complacency in the industry, because suddenly anyone can make something that sounds, by modern standards, good. How do you differentiate yourself?
Well, I think so. I love that writing electronic music is so accessible. Like, when people are like, "Oh, everyone's a DJ, everyone's a producer."
No, it's amazing.
I think that's great. Like,
It's like 1,000 monkeys on 1,000 typewriters.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone should be a DJ. Everyone should be a music. Everyone should create stuff. Like that shouldn't be. Like you shouldn't gatekeep that kind of thing. Like everyone should have access to express themselves. Like But and I think that just like, especially with the oversaturation of music on the internet and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an issue, but it's also just like
Is
people
it?
will find what they like.
And the cream
Good
will
stuff
rise to the top, right?
In a way, obviously.
We got the cream right here, baby. It's always the cream that says that, by the way. I'm
the cream. Never been referred to as the cream before.
And I'm creaming. You're up, Macmillan.
I'm up again.
This is really fun, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. Thank you for having me. Hug drop.
This guy.
Hug drop.
Are we doing a hug drop? We got Doppel on the show. I'm pretty sure his plan is to take me out, make it look like an accident, and start hosting this thing
I've been
himself.
exposed. One sweaty guy in a shed.
Just don't think we got the real estate for it, mate. We will be releasing the Spotify playlist of every single song you've heard today on the website www.coburguplate.com. Also, make sure you check out Eucalyptograph on Spotify. Actually, don't Spotify. Buy that fucking thing on Beatport. It's unreal. Pop it in your headphones. Doppel's also contributing 5 fantastic tunes as well for his official Coburg Up Late Spotify playlist. Official, baby. We got Andy in the studio. It's an absolute honor. Take us home, mate. I'm not going to play anymore. There's only a little bit left. Perfect, he says. He's like, you should never have fucking touched it in the first place. It's like you call yourself an elbow swinger.
The real trick is just to touch things and not do anything with them.
Wait, the jig's up. Don't tell him.
Exposed.
You want to make sure that in this space you feel protected and safe.
Just ram it in. Just ram it in.
I want you to see yourself.
We did say we'd be coming out of the closet after this, and we've just rammed it in. So
Yeah,
it's so bad.
two sweaty guys in a shed ramming it in.
That's the after party. Coburg Up Late, followed by
Thanks
two.
for having me.
Inner strength.
We'll be ramming it in right after this.
Well, yeah, I said, perfect, because if we're finishing it off on this,
No, you can do. Oh, if you want.
this is a perfect. Let's let
I want you to take
let
me
Thank You City
with you.
speak.
The feelings, the sound,
This is my remix of Thank You City.
just the
Do
picture.
you want to tell us why you chose this, or do you want to just let it run?
The one that you pushed off to
Why I chose it.
To close with, why? What about this is your closer?
I didn't choose it to close with. It just happened to line up perfectly. This whole thing is very serendipitous,
It totally is, man. It really feels like having you here is like I was gonna say the final act of serendipity.
make it more vivid.
There's Doppel. There's the shaker. I can't not hear the shaker. It's beautiful, dude. Yeah, the whole thing seemed very serendipitous. I had an artist actually, an interstate guest actually cancelled for the show, and the reason I didn't ask Doppel in the first place is I saw that his tour dates didn't line up with being here. But I messaged him anyway because I love the guy and I just wanted an excuse to talk to him. And he's like, actually, I will be there on that exact day. So thank you so much for being the amazing synchronistic jewel in my sweaty crown.
It's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
You deserve to feel all the glory and excitement.
We talked over the best bits. No, I did. You didn't. But you did too.
He's very generous. You know, you're widely considered as the nicest guy in dance music.
Well, that's a good thing.
Aside from breaking into the National Folk Festival 9 years ago, what's the worst thing you've ever done?
Worst thing I've ever done. Come on this show.
Get out!
The worst thing I've ever done?
Yeah, go for
we're
it.
gonna get really real here.
Let's do it.
So I was gonna say something like I killed a man or something, but I haven't.
I used to get into Uber pools and be like, all right, guys, secret time. We'll never see each other again. And sometimes I would reveal like a murder that. Anyway, we won't go into that. What?
Notice certain changes happening in the way you think, feel, and therefore behave.
Secret time.
That could be the worst thing I've ever done.
Vibrations.
Secret time in an Uber.
Secret
That's
time.
pretty sketchy.
Yeah, Uber pool is very 2019.
I'm sure that if you look back at some of the events, you will discover that there are dozens upon dozens of times in your life.
I'm gonna leave the worst thing I've ever done open-ended. People can
So high, so on top.
make up your own mind about this sweaty mess. He's definitely done some bad things, but
I think 2 men in a garage and this sweaty mess might be the worst thing he's ever done. Just ram it in.
That's right.
this is one of my favorite tunes to play live. It's just always
So-
a nice feeling,
So you pull all of the stems into Ableton, and does it, when you're playing it live, does it go for the same length and you're just bringing in and out elements?
So basically just I have the ability to sort of dictate the energy with bringing the percussion in, more shakers, more rides, can loop parts, cut it up if I need to.
Cool. Can you read the crowd in that regard? Like,
Totally. Like if I need to beef it up, I
is
will.
it just like really complex DJing? Like DJing with more parts?
Like I said, it's a glorified DJ set. Yeah. The whizzy bit.
This line ain't nothing but chi.
Ain't nothing but chi, baby.
Are you? Do you practice qigong, or you subscribe to the to Taoism, or?
Not necessarily, but well, this tune in particular, it's a remix of Nothing But Chi by Thank You City.
Yes.
Which is potentially my favorite tune. of all time.
Was you one on this remix package?
I think he did something with the vocal. I think he's like got a boom set that goes with it or something like that.
Cool.
But no, it was just me and Jesse Cooch and Bill Olsen.
Awesome.
Like awesome. And like I asked them if I could do a remix of this because like I was a bit sheepish. Can I remix Nothing But Chi? I know it's old, like.
Oh wow, dude. That echo sitting really back in the mix. Chi is a really important way that I live my life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So like, I practice qigong, and one thing I like to do after meditating is this. I'll talk you through it, but we're gonna do it together. So.
Make it more vivid.
With that Doppel on the show, any final words?
Just thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone who's listened to the tunes, loving the tunes. Like it's genuinely just so lovely. Like I don't know if I can say that enough, but I really like. I mean it. It's incredible. And thanks for coming out to the shows. The album tour has been crazy. Like
Yeah.
like absolutely crazy. And the prospect of touring, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, which just didn't exist. Let's get a little, a bit of elbow.
Bit of elbow finishing the show. And what's coming up for you? Anything to plug? Anything we can look forward to?
I'm gonna be writing more music, a few gigs. I've got a couple of releases coming out with the Journey Boys on Flow Music.
Keep an eye out for that on
keep an eye
Flow
out for
Music
that.
as well.
Yeah, and
Cool.
yeah, I don't know, pop bits and pieces. I'm staying the course, continuing. That's.
He says stay in the course as if it's like a, moderately horizontal trajectory, but your course is currently fucking shooting up to the stratosphere, dude. So, yeah, it's an honor to have you. Stay in the course, and at some point your course has intersected with my garage, and that means the world to me. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You'll stick around for 2 men in a garage?
Yeah, that's right.
That's cameras off, baby.
After dark.
Thanks again.
My pleasure.
Remember, whatever you do, may you do it with passion. And may we all truly endeavour to be kind to each other, the world around us, and ourselves. I've been DJ Be Kind to Other People with one of my absolute favourites. It's Doppel!
Late.
Unreal.
That was like ludicrous and very silly.
Yeah, that was perfect. Perfect.